Hi everyone, myself Thompson Sijosh. I'm a clinical professional from Narayana Hridayalaya, Bangalore. Today I'm here to talk to you about the retrospective analysis of perfusion techniques for thoracoabdominal aortic surgeries. So, what is an aneurysm? An aortic aneurysm is a bulging, dilation, or ballooning in the wall of a blood vessels. Usually, it will be in an artery that can be due to the weakness or degeneration that develop in a portion of an arterial wall. Thoracic aortic aneurysm. Thoracic aortic aneurysm we can be divided into three categories. According to their position, ascending aortic aneurysm, aortic arch aneurysm, and the descending thoracic aneurysm. Here we have an experience of 8 cases of complex thoracic aortic aneurysm in the year of 2020. According to their pathology, we have categorized into 4 categories. First one is thoracic aortic aneurysm of distal aorta that we did the help of left heart bypass for 2 patients. And the second category is arch aneurysm with thoracic aortic replacement for 2 patients. And the third one, thoracic aortic replacement for 3 patients. And the final one, thoracic and abdominal aortic dissection for 1 patient. So the strategies we have taken for the 8 cases are different, but the approach was with the left anterior lateral thoracotomy. So the cannulation strategy. For the left heart bypass, we have used the left atrium or the left superior pulmonary vein as an access drainage, and the descending aorta or the femoral arterial cannula we have used for the return cannula. So the arch aneurysm replacement with the thoracic aorta we had did with the femoral artery and the femoral vein. For the thoracic aortic replacement we did with the femoral vein, pulmonary artery and the femoral artery. Left heart bypass. It was a partial bypass and the dual circulation. The upper body was taken by the heart and the lower body was taken by our system. So the cannulation we have did with the left atrium or the left superior pulmonary vein to the femoral artery or the descending aorta. Here you can see a picture. In this picture, this red arrow which is indicating the left atrial cannulation and the yellow one was the descending thoracic aortic cannulation. So here we have used a roller pump with a reservoir and an oxygenator and the regular CPB circuit with a modified settings we have used. So the what was the strategy we had taken for this case is we didn't empty the heart too much because the heart was perfusing through the upper body, and to like radial and the femoral suppurative invasive pressure monitoring we have taken for the upper body and the lower body, and for the cerebral protection we have monitoring the NARS, and for the spinal protection we used a CSF drainage and the somatosensory evacuated potential. So this is an after the completion of a left heart bypass. So this thoracic part we have replaced with a straight graft. So the second category is aortic arch aneurysm and the thoracic aorta. For this category, we have cannulated with the femoral artery and the femoral vein, and we have cooled the patient into 18 degrees Celsius. And once the patient is in the 18 degrees Celsius, we have given the thiopentone sodium. After the 3 minutes of thiopentone sodium, we have given the systemic potassium. Once the heart got arrested, within a second, we have started the RCP through the femoral vein. So the femoral venous cannula is the tip was in the RA. So the RA got filled and it was perfusing the upper body and it was coming through the arch vessels. Once the proximal anastomosis of the aorta has been done and the innominate artery also anastomosis, we have started to perfuse through the side arm graft for the upper body. And the lower body was perfusing by the femoral arterial cannula. Then we have started to slowly rewarm the patient into 26 degrees Celsius. Once the patient is in the 26 degrees Celsius, and the arch vessels are reconstructed and the descending thoracic aorta anastomosis also has been done, we rewarm the patient and weaned off from the CPB circuit. So the third category is thoracic aortic replacement. So the thoracic aortic replacement we cannulated with the femoral arterial cannula and the femoral venous and the pulmonary artery. We have cooled the patient into 26 degrees Celsius. We have given the thiopentone sodium. After the thiopentone sodium of 3 minutes, we have given the systemic potassium. Once the heart got arrested, retrograde cerebral perfusion through the femoral venous we have started. Once the proximal anastomosis of the aorta has been done, if the left subclavian artery is involved, that anastomosis also has been done. We have started the perfusion through the side arm graft. So the upper body was perfusing by the side arm graft and the lower body was perfusing by the femoral arterial cannula. Once the descending thoracic aorta anastomosis has been done and the intercostal arteries are visualized and ligated, then we rewarm the patient and we end up from the CPB circuit. So here you can see a thoracoabdominal aneurysm. It is a huge elephant trunk in the first picture. It is before the before the surgery. And here we have a video for the visceral perfusion in thoracic abdomen aneurysms. Here we have perfusing the mesenteric and the celiac and the renal arteries by 3 cannulas. This is the completion of the surgery. So the next concern is the myocardial protection. So 40 to 60 milliequivalents of potassium chloride was given to arrest the heart. And adenosine of 6 mg, that is 2 ml adenosine as a bolus we given. And after giving the systemic potassium arrest, there will be an increase in the serum potassium. So that we have sorted out with the zero balanced ultrafiltration techniques. So one more thing we have seen, like there will be a reduction in the lactate also. So sometimes, like for some special cases, there will be a require of cardioplegia delivery through the to the ascending aorta. So for that kind of purpose, we have used antegrade perfusion grip flow 21 French cannula. So let's come to the discussion. So all the cases are different. So there should be a case-oriented approach from our side. If we are considering the CPP circuit also, sometimes we require an RCP, sometimes we require an selective antegrade cerebral perfusion and the side arm graft perfusion. So we require an extra arterial line. So we should be arranged from our side. And the core temperature monitoring, we should be require a nasal and rectal temperature. For the neurological protection, we have used a retrograde cerebral perfusion, that is 15 to 20 ml per kg per minute. And it was very simple and more effective in this kind of scenarios with the help of NIRS and CPP monitoring and high potassium RS for the myocardial rush and the zero balanced ultrafiltration techniques. And during the rewarm, we were using minimum of 3 degrees Celsius. The gradient should not, we didn't maintain the more than the 3 degrees Celsius. And the next major concern is the hemostasis. There will be bleeding, so that we have controlled with the blood products and the usage of the bioclues. So key points to remember. There should be a proper coordination between the team, the anesthetist and the perfusionist and surgeon. And the cerebral protection techniques are say CSF drainage and somatosensory evacuated potential monitoring and separate invasive arterial lines for the radial and the femoral, for upper body and the lower body, and the NARS for both cerebral and the lower body, and the usage of side arm graft, for the arch, in the arch graft and the straight graft also there will be a side arm graft. For this usage of side arm graft, where we require an extra arterial line, and the cell saver usage for the blood conservation techniques. Anyway, thank God all the patients were successfully operated with the zero mortality. They were able to discharge with no complications. Thank you.